Hello, good morning, everybody. Can you hear me all well? Okay, great. My name is Varun Devan. I'm a program manager with the Power Platform team, and I'm typically managing the admin experiences. So if you, beyond this, if you have any questions around the admin experience, feel free to ask me after this session. Today, I'm going to focus more around what best practices for support, what are the key improvements that we have done from a supportability standpoint, and what are the best ways to raise a support ticket and get best traction. So just a quick check, how many of you actually know about the Power Platform Admin Center? Okay, that's great. So for folks who don't know, Power Platform Admin Center is the unified admin center that we are focusing on, which for Power Apps, for Flow, for Dynamics 365, all of those experiences are going to be merged into one admin experience called the Power Platform Admin Center, which will be the de facto admin center going forward. So we are working very diligently to make sure that all the features from other admin centers get retired and everything gets merged in one place. To access it, you can go to admin.powerplatform.com and see all the features. So what you'll see today and the demo that I will talk about will be on the Power Platform Admin Center. So in terms of slides, I just have like a couple of them, so just quickly run through them and directly get into the demo so you can see some of the experiences that we have built. So at a high level, from key improvements that we have done, so this is the Power Platform Admin Center. On the left navigation, you can see help and support. That's the place where we encourage everybody to go in and create a support ticket, and I'll talk about what the experience looks like. So it's a unified submission process. That's one of the key things that we have done across Power Apps, Flow, Dynamics 365, and more services are getting onboarded. We want to make sure that this is the place where the admins go in and create the support tickets and manage the entire service. There's a lot of rich diagnostic and self-help. We are continuing to invest more and more. Today I'll show you a demo that talks about a user who's getting an access denied, and what is the help self-diagnostic that we have currently available, and we continue to improve it over time for sure. There is custom case submission. So one of the key things that we understand is that depending on where you are, whether you are in Power Apps or a Dynamics 365 a customer engagement or a Flow, the context is different. The Power App has a different ID versus the activity ID is different for Dynamics. So we want to capture that context and make sure that we help you in the best possible way. So you'll see that during the case submission process, there are different data points that we are collecting to make sure that the resolution is quick. And we are working more towards non-admins to also be able to create tickets. So in case there are users who are facing problems, they can also raise a support ticket even today, and we are improving more and more on that. So I'll run through this quickly, but most of it is through the demo. So you can submit a new support ticket, and if there is an existing one, you can click through that experience and see the details of that particular ticket that you have raised. And we just recently added the communication history. So any communication that has happened on this particular ticket, that somebody from Microsoft responded now, or you have responded back to it, and there is a chain which is going on, you can see that entire communication thread in the history which we have recently added. So a single place where you can see all your consolidated tickets and a running history which will help you to ensure that if there is any communication that is as part of that particular ticket, you can see it in this single place as well. So I'll quickly go in and show you how it looks like today. So again, this is the Power Platform Admin Center. So admin.powerplatform.microsoft.com. This is the place to go to access the admin center, which is where you can now create the help and support ticket. So let me run through a scenario where there is a user who is reporting a problem that they are not able to access a particular environment. In the traditional way, you will probably have to troubleshoot and debug what could be the problem, but I'll show you how we are looking at the actual runtime telemetry at times and actually looking at the environment to find out what could be the reason that the user is not able to access. So let's just quickly run through and create a support ticket. So for creating a support ticket, you click on the create new support ticket. You select the product. In this case, I'm looking for Dynamics 365 customer engagement. You select the problem type. In this case, it's an access issue. And the user is access denied when they're trying to log in. It will ask for which particular environment that this user is getting the access denied for. I'm picking this one. Let me go back and copy the user ID to make sure that that context is provided to the self-diagnostic. So here's the user who reported the problem. And when I provide these details, what our system is doing is that it's actually collecting all the information that we know from the backend telemetry, and even call the API for the CDS and find out what could be the problem. So in this case, what we've noticed is the user does not have a security role inside a particular environment, and that's the reason that the user is not able to access. There could be other reasons as well. This is just one of the scenarios. So the suggestion here is to make sure that the user, you provide the security role by going into the user settings and clicking on the manage role. So I already have the user record open here. And when you click on manage roles, you will see that this particular user does not have any role associated to them. And that was the key reason why the user was not able to access. So once you give them the right role, that's how you proceed forward and make sure that the user does get access. So that's just one of the scenarios. Our core goal here is to make sure that we provide more and more information, rich information, looking at the telemetry, looking at the health of the environment. So you don't have to go in and troubleshoot like a zillion things to find out a simple thing that is as simple as just the user does not have a particular security role. There's a lot of investment that our team is making on the diagnostic side. So you will notice in every month there are new scenarios that we are lighting up. This is just a simple scenario that we just enabled last month, where there's this pattern helps you identify that the security role is missing. Now, if for some reason this is not helping you, maybe there's a security role and you've done all the due diligence and you still want to go in and create a support ticket, there is the important thing that I wanted to call out while creating a support ticket is, so this is what we call it as a deflection. The whole goal is that we provide you rich information so you can troubleshoot the problem yourself. But if for whatever reason this is not helping, you can still go and create a support ticket. And during the support creation process, one of the key things that has happened in just transitioning from the previous page where you provided all the details to the actually submitting a ticket, we captured all that context that you have just entered in the previous screen, and that gets passed over to the agent who's looking at the ticket. So it's very, very important for the support agent to know exactly what the problem is. So now in the previous screen you said, here's the environment that you are facing the problem for, and here's the user who's not able to access. That information at the time when this case gets submitted, pass along as notes to our support agent, so they can actually run the telemetry from the backend services and try to nail down on the exact problem why this user does not have particular access. So it really helps the support agent with all the details that you provide here to help them hone in on a particular problem and find the right solution and actually come back to you with making sure that your first day resolution is right there. You contact support, and within a first day they are able to reach back to you with the resolution rather than continuing to ask you more and more questions to reach there. So that's one of the key things that we have added, where context is passed along, and that context helps the support agent with the telemetry that is available to them. Now, just going back and just talking about some of the other things. So let's say if there was a problem with a flow or an app. So we just went through a Dynamics customer engagement experience, but let's say there was a problem with PowerApps. Now, in case of PowerApps, the context is slightly different. You are working in an app, and we want to make sure that we know which app you are working in. So it's not just the environment that is important, it's the app that you're working in where you have an access issue or any other issue is more important as well. So in this case, what you'll notice, and I'll just quickly select a few things just for the sake of the demo. You'll notice that while submitting the case, there are new fields that are populated here, which are asking you to provide the app ID and the session ID. So now again, going back to the same context, that all this information becomes super critical for our support agents to look at and help you based on whatever information that you've provided. So app ID and session ID, and there are links to help you where to find that information as well. So by providing these details, you are really helping the support agent for coming back to you with the exact resolution rather than asking more questions around it. So those are a few things that I wanted to show. I wanted to give a lot of time for Q&A, but just to show you an experience of, like, this is the support ticket. Inside the support ticket, you can see all the details. This is a test ticket that I had created just for the demo purposes, and the communication history that this was an internal case, so the support agent closed this case. You can see that entire communication history as part of that case as well. Yes, please.
Yeah, so if I create a support ticket in my regular admin console, what's the difference between that and then submitting one here? Will all those details still get linked up if I feel like just making the ticket over there instead of over in the PowerApps, Power Platform support center?
Right. So by regular, you mean?
Just like my regular admin server, so admin.office.com, I have my support there. And
Got
I
it.
can put a Premiere ticket and all.
Got it. Perfect. So the question is that what is the difference between support experience that I just showed you and the one that is available in Office? So what we are doing is we are trying to converge as much as we can, where we totally understand that there is this need for customers to still go to the office and submit the tickets. So we continue to put more and more enhancements there as well. But we encourage users to come for Power Platform, whether it's a Dynamics 365 customer engagement or a PowerApps or Flow and more added in future, to come in here, because a lot of improvements that we will make on the Power Platform Admin Center may not replicate as such on the Office. So we encourage everybody to come here. Any other questions? Yeah, so so the question is, how do non-admins can create a ticket? So if you go to PowerApps.com, just log in as a regular user. There is an option on the right navigation. There's a gear you can click and ask for support. It has a similar experience where you click on that gear and click on support. It will ask you for, like, what is the problem that you're facing, and it'll give you a deflection scenario to say, hey, is this something that is helping you to solve the problem? And if that particular solution doesn't help solve your problem, you can create a support ticket from that experience. That lives outside of this admin experience that I've shown you, and we are working to converge that into the same experience where non-admins can come in and create a support ticket, and the admins can see it in a single list. So there is work in progress for that. Yes, right. So there will be ability for enterprises to only have that feature available just for the administrators, so that the regular users are not coming in and using it. So there is a single funnel which is managing and creating. So absolutely yes. Any other questions, any concerns, any feedback? So one of the key things that I wanted to also call out is on every interaction that you see in the Power Platform Admin Center, there will be a feedback button on the bottom right corner. We as a team take this very, very seriously. So bi-weekly and sometimes in weekly basis, depending on what's the life cycle of a particular feature, we meet on a regular basis to triage the feedback that we get. So more we hear from you, better we can make our platform and services. So things that you think are not working well for you, or you have any feedback to improve them, definitely use that feedback button. That is definitely very actively used within our team. All the PMs, all the dev, we get together on a very periodic basis to review feedback for each of these pages, and you'll notice feedback button almost everywhere across the platform. Yes, please. So right now that capability does not exist, where once the case is submitted, you have the ability to add more attachments, but being able to edit the case to provide more details, that feature does not exist right now. But that's in our backlog, where you can edit and provide more context. If you have identified additional things that were not available to you at the time of the case creation, you can append that and add more details. But right now that feature does not exist. Yes, please. So the question is, when do we get the response? Is it immediate? So if there's a Premier ticket, when you create ticket using this process, there is an option to enter your Premier account as well. So the SLA depends on the type of the ticket. So during this ticket creation process, there is a minimal and high severity depending on the type of the issue. So the team will get back to you within 24 hours. That's like the core commitment. But does that mean a resolution? It depends on the type of the issue and what are the contexts that you have provided as part of that ticket. So more details that are available to the support agent, and that's the reason I talked about giving the username, giving the app ID or the session ID for the Power Apps. More details are available. Sooner the support agent can come back with the exact resolution rather than asking more questions. How many of you have used the support, help and support? Okay, okay, few. I would definitely encourage everybody to use this in case you face problems. And if you're not using it, I'm assuming there are no problems, which is always a good sign. But in case you do have problems, this is definitely a great place to have a consolidated view, get a lot of good help. Yes, please.
Can you integrate Flow into the support tickets? Like, for example, say I got a support ticket solved and I want to broadcast an announcement saying I solved the ticket or something like that. Is that
So the question is, can we integrate Flow? So scenario would be that if you've created a ticket, the flow that goes out and broadcasts the communication to everybody that yes, this is a known issue, so everybody gets to know about it. So there's an API support for anything that we do. So we definitely have an API first approach to make sure that the APIs are available for all the interactions. So as more and more improvements are coming in the Power Platform Admin Center, you will start to see those APIs and PowerShell commandlets that you can use. So you can use those APIs to integrate with Flow and have those broadcast emails set up. So yes, that's a short answer. Yes, please. Okay. Got it. So the question is that during the process of case submission, there are set of questions that are asked, and what if one of those questions that are asked in those is not a problem that the user is facing? So one of the things that we do for sure is that there is a section called Other, where we totally acknowledge that we won't be able to have all those questions. So there's always another option. But we do monitor from a back end, like what are users selecting. If others is one of the key things that people are selecting, that gives us signal that we are not providing a lot of good information to the users, because other would mean that the self-help will be very generic. It won't be narrow. So one of the things that I would say is that if you have problems where there are questions that are not helping you solve that problem, give us feedback. Tell us what are those problems that you are facing, so we can look at that feedback and add those questions in our question tree and diagnostic for and help for that. But in general, we do definitely look at our telemetry to see if there are others. We analyze the issues and look at what was the problem, so we can add it to our question tree as well. So both those things would happen, feedback directly from you and our analysis that we do from backend. Well, great. If you have any more questions, I'll be here. Feel free to ask me. My team is also here, so in case you want to have any questions on Power Platform Admin Center in general, I'm happy to answer them. Okay. Thank you so much. Thanks.